Morning. What's up, guys? Hop into the weekly candle. So yesterday looks like we made our high and we're starting to back off that a little bit. So today we might flip. Once this candle flips to the downside, we're probably going to come and test somewhere down within this area. Looking at the daily candles here. Looking at the daily candles, you can see yesterday's candle closed bullish, but not as strong as the previous day. And today we're kind of rejecting this area up there. So we're making this push down. We'll see if we break this previous day's low there. If we do, then we're probably going to come test that weekly low that we were talking about underneath. Let's drop down a little more to the hourly. On the hourly, you can see we're just in this consolidation range right here, moving sideways. So we need a break of the low down there to take some sells to the downside, which we can target 3,300 level there. Buys, a little more tricky. I'm not sure we can really take buys until we break above there. Yeah. Most likely. Let's drop down to the 5 minutes, see if there's anything, but it's looking like this is a pretty big zone that we're in that we're not going to be able to trade until we break out of. So, looking here, we're putting in some bearish structure on the 5 minute. Right here, we're coming into this area that's rejected before. So, potential to kind of turn around in there, but we are still within the range, so really gonna have to wait until we come down and break this low down there probably before we take anything. I mean, potentially we could take a break up there to the upside, and you know, I guess probably here is what we can look at. What up, AB? You guys looking at anything? I know you guys set a bunch of potential setups. I don't know if you guys have gotten anything yet, but so yeah, I'm thinking at this low 33,377, where if we break below there, you know, we've got, so we got 70 points to the next level, which if that breaks, we're probably going to come and try to break down that level. So that's kind of my thought there. If we can break there, take some kind of sell setup as soon as that low's broken to the downside, and we'll secure profits around here, leave runners if it does go down to there. So watch that. NASDAQ, you know, maybe I'll trade NASDAQ today because NASDAQ's been a lot cleaner the last couple days. Okay, NASDAQ, I'm going to mark this high up there on the weekly and then this low on the weekly. Looks like we are kind of rejecting this area up there on the weekly, so we might start flipping to the bearish side. We're going to mark this daily low as well. It's pretty important here. So that's the low, or sorry, the weekly low. That's the low on the weekly. So if that low gets broken there, then that's flipping to a bearish candle. So we're going to be watching that. The only thing here is our daily candle didn't make a top wick. It's just pushed straight down. So there's potential that it could flip back bullish to put in a top wick before it goes down, but that's quite a bit of ways away. So looking at the hourly, we're pretty bullish here. We're putting in some bullish structure within this range. If we break below here though, we've really got clean move down to come test these lows down there as well. So I imagine that if you're looking for some kind of fib setup here, you could play this. And right now we're expecting some kind of, you know, flag to the downside right here. So that would kind of help if we break out of there. Probably going to get some kind of push down to these levels right there. 5 minute, yeah, about the same. Really nothing there yet. SPX, SPX weekly candle is similar to US30. So we made our high, now we're starting to back off here. So once this candle flips bearish, we're probably going to push the downside here. Looking at the daily, that's a break of that low right there, and this candle's starting to come down there, so it's getting close. Hourly, we're gonna move that right there. So yeah, push down below there. We can expect to take some kind of sell to the downside for continuation there. Looking at our lower time frames, we're putting in some bear structure now, so potential to see that continuation to the downside. We're gonna mark this high right here as well as potential buy spot above there. So let's look at the DXY. Alrighty, DXY is still rejecting into the zone over here. There, so we've made a top, or we've made a bottom wick. Top wick hasn't broken the previous high yet, so if it's gonna happen, we need to start consolidating within this range right here, and we need to break out of it. Looking here, it's really hard to determine where it's gonna go because it's just been consolidating for so long that it could just keep doing that for the rest of the week. Who really knows? So how long has it been doing this? You know, it came into this zone about here. So 12 days it has not moved. It's just been moving up within this range for 12 days. So I need that to break out soon to kind of show us the direction it wants to go. Because right now it's really hard to get any gauge on where it's going. Based on the weekly, I'm assuming it's probably going to start heading up at some point, but who knows when that's going to happen. Bitcoin. Weekly candle put in our high. Now we're starting to drop down and flip bearish. So yesterday we talked about Bitcoin probably coming down into like 1800, 19 area before coming to test the 25,000 level. So that's kind of what I think is going to happen. If we drop the daily, you can see how big of a push we had to the upside. So expecting some kind of retracement down into here before making the next move up to come test that 25,000 level up there. So I'm expecting Bitcoin to keep dropping for the rest of the week. Looks like we kind of dropped out of structure a little bit here. So it probably looks better on the 30-minute. Yeah, so we kind of broke structure here. Not great to the downside, but we had all this uptrend right there, and then we kind of dropped out of there. So now we're flagging up a little bit right here. Hopefully trying to reject somewhere right there before we can make that next move to the downside. So that's Bitcoin. GJ weekly candles kind of backing off as well. We put in that high, potentially just put in a low though, so this is going to be interesting to see if it flips back bullish or if we continue to see that retracement push down there. Still in this daily range right here, and we've been doing this for about a month now, so just kind of moving sideways. We need to break this high to be able to either correct more of this move or break those highs and create a new leg to the upside. Looking at the hourly here, really not much going on, just consolidating still. So putting in a little bit of bear structure here on the lower time frames, breaking structure to the downside, breaking all this structure there. So could see a move up here and continuation to the downside, test these lows, who knows, but I don't think it's going to break that zone anytime soon. EURUSD. Let me just hop back to US30 real fast and make sure it's not doing anything. Yeah, just chilling. We're on EURUSD. Looking at the weekly candle, still pushing up, and we put in our low, so I'm not really gonna expect to do anything but buy on EURUSD because all these lows are respecting each other there, and the current weekly candle already put in its low and is starting to flip back bullish. So looking at the daily candle, you can see we're starting to lose a lot of momentum here, but still wouldn't recommend selling EURUSD right now, because looking at the daily candle, each candle is putting in a low and it's respecting it, besides this candle right there, but each candle's putting in a low, the next candle's respecting it. So this candle already put in its low, so if this is going to continue to the upside, probably going to see this candle flip to a bullish candle up here and break these highs and continue to the upside. GBPUSD. Okay, the weekly candle in GU is projecting pretty good right now. So there's a zone up there that we're rejecting. Drop down to the daily real fast. You can see starting to put in a little bit of bearish structure on the lower time frames. You'll be able to see that in just a sec, but you can see this high, these highs are being put in there. You want pips? I don't have pips. You have pips. You have to pay me 10 pips. Those highs are starting to get put in there, so now you can drop down into a lower time frame and you see we're breaking structure to the downside right here. All this structure is broken there, so now GU is starting to kind of create this little channel to the upside there, so we'll probably see a move to the downside after we retrace a little bit more up in there. So I'm expecting GU to head bearish from here for a little bit. Gold. Alright, gold's in an interesting spot right here because probably some kind of rejection zone here, yeah, on the weekly. Candles are pushing very bullish though, so this is similar to EU. I wouldn't be selling any gold right now. Looking at all these weekly candles since December, you know, the week of Christmas, it's just been pushing straight up and hasn't had any retracements, so it's definitely due for one. You can see it's just crawled straight up here. We're not really in a resistance area yet, but it is in a like a fib rejection zone, so potential to back off here, but still super risky. Looking at this current daily candle, we put in our low, we respected the previous day's lows too, so we'll see if this backs off and flips bullish, then we're going to come break those highs and continue with another push to the upside. So we need to mark this high on that candle there. And we could drop down to the lower time frames to see what's going on here. So right now we're just kind of putting in a little bit of, it's really ugly, but bullish structure still all the way from down here. Once this high's broken up there, then we're going to see another leg to the upside. So still bullish on gold. Nothing's changed there still, so no point in selling gold right now. Alright, looking at US30, we got 10 minutes until opening bell, and we're consolidating pretty good right here. So we're going to mark this little range that we're in on the 5-minute and hopefully take advantage of the breakout of this tiny little range, because this should get us a pretty good risk to reward here if it does happen at the open and not before. That's what we're watching for. Same thing with NASDAQ. We're going to mark this. This looks even cleaner. So if you're wanting to take one, I'd probably recommend NASDAQ. Because after we drop out of there, yeah, I'm going to say NASDAQ has the cleanest move for sure. So we're going to keep an eye on NASDAQ today probably. Because it's got a lot cleaner traffic to the top side, and then if we look left, really the same thing here. I think US30 is a little more choppy. It's about the same actually, but all I know is NASDAQ's been giving better moves lately, so we'll see what happens at the open. This candle has 3 minutes left on it till it closes. And then we have that last 5-minute candle until opening bell. AB, did you guys say you're in anything? I don't remember. Or Peyton? nothing's really moving quite yet. Pretty low volume. Let's pull up the volume in here now. 5-minute candles. Okay. So what we need this high to not be broken until the opening candle, because I've been burned on it the last 2 days. So hopefully we do not push up and break that until 7:30 or 9:30 Eastern. You can hear NASDAQ. These have a lot more potential to the downside, so I'm more interested in sells here, but it also could see a pretty good retracement up here. So I think both sides are valid. Just whatever side we decide to go out of this zone is where we should be able to take our trade. Now we just gotta decide which. So we got Dow Jones on the left side here, and we're gonna put NASDAQ on the right side. That way we can watch both of them. EMAs, what the heck is that? I'm gonna turn this off for a second. Okay, so we'll see if they follow each other. If they don't, I think NASDAQ's definitely the better move here, especially to the upside. So let's see. Let me do that. So what price is this high? This high is right at 11,654 ish. 11,662 on my broker. Looks like we might be dropping a little bit here. And 662. And then probably you could put like some kind of sell stop below here. We got 4 minutes until the candle opens. The New York candle close, or the New York open candle opens. So give it just a little bit longer. Once that volume comes pushing in, probably gonna push either up, or we're definitely breaking out of this area, but hopefully it's just the actual move that it wants to make. Looks like we're starting to push down a little bit on NASDAQ. Hopefully it doesn't break that low yet. It needs to wait a couple more minutes before it decides to do that. What's SPX doing? SPX is doing the same thing as NASDAQ. DXY is dropping, not what we want to see. We want to see it start pushing to the upside. NASDAQ looks like it's going to break this pretty soon. $11,636. Alrighty. We got 2.5 minutes until the open, so volume's gonna start coming in any minute now. and we're gonna start probably breaking one area. So gotta be careful, but if we break above this high, then we're gonna take buys. Actually, we're gonna do it on NASDAQ. If we break above this high, we're gonna take buys and target somewhere up there. Look something like this. Stop will be underneath the next 5-minute candle, and if it sells, then I've got a buy stop below here. A buy stop down there, so our stop loss will be above that candle right there, and expect to drop to the downside if we do break out there. So 1 minute and 50 seconds left until the open. We're about to get our volume coming in. The XY is dropping. Need the XY to turn around and start heading up. Looks like US30 is dropping, NASDAQ's rejecting a little bit, and SPX is sitting right in the middle. See if US30 breaks this. We got 1 minute left till the open, so we'll see if it breaks it and fakes out right before the open. XY still heading down. We need this to stop. As long as we respect these lows, though, we should be fine. If we start breaking those, though, that's when we're going to start seeing a good move to the downside. Gold starting to break out, so we could have just taken some liquidity down in there. If we drop down to the 1 minute, you'll see you had equal lows to the downside, so you had a lot of liquidity resting in there. We took those lows. Now we're breaking the highs to the upside up there, so potential to kind of turn around there. Nice rejection on the last 1 minute candle there. We'll see if it continues to reject. Pop back to NASDAQ. We got 7 seconds until the open, so volume's about to start picking up here. Looks like US30 is starting to drop down out of there, and NASDAQ kind of wicked down pretty hard. So we'll see if it continues pushing to the downside here. Nothing to take for me yet. So US30 already took that low and is starting to come up and test this high. So we'll see if it breaks that high. This is the kind of whipsaw candle that we don't want to be a part of here. So we're going to wait. NASDAQ's pushing down. Getting a decent move to the downside while US30 is pushing up and SPX is dropping. So everything's heading different directions right now. US30 is rejecting up there. Good bearish close for NASDAQ, and the DXY is still rejecting, starting to push up a little bit. I'm expecting NASDAQ to just keep dropping and then US30 eventually follow it, because that's what's happened last week. So we'll see. SPX is also falling, and this was very difficult to take a trade here. So kind of just more of a learning day. See if we get another wave to the downside here. Coming back up to test that zone. Ooh, XY looks like it's starting to break down. And still pushing down. Yep, so we were right on the bears, but we didn't get an entry there. So I mean, this is really your entry. It kind of jumped down pretty fast, but what up, Queen? So we broke the lows down there. You would have had to manually enter probably pretty fast if you were able to get in though, and then we just kind of dropped from there. So that was a decent move there, but it did not really give a potential to enter. And SPX is still dropping, NASDAQ's dropping, and once again, the only pair that wicked both directions and is not doing anything is US30. So US30 wicked both the high and the low, created that whipsaw candle. Now we're just stuck in the middle of the range. So this is what happened yesterday, is it took like another half hour to create some kind of structure that we could play to the downside. So now we just kind of wait and watch and potentially see if we can get involved in the sells here at some point. We got 1 minute left on this candle. They're both Dow Jones. Pretty good move down here for NASDAQ. Let's look at the daily candles on both of these. The daily candles pushed very bearish to the downside there on NASDAQ, and the current one on Dow Jones is similar, but we're still respecting the previous candle's low, so we got to be careful right there because it could be rejecting and turning around there. It's a pretty big candle for how early it is in the day. So drop down to 5 minutes. Let's see if there's anything. We're gonna go back to full screen here. So now we're starting to break out of that range to the upside. And NASDAQ and SPX are rejecting that pretty strongly now. Alrighty, so that candle just closed, and it closed bullish, while this NASDAQ and SPX closed bearish. Looks like DXY wants to continue dropping, so that would kind of support, US30 pushing to the upside. So we'll see what happens with this candle here. Gold pushing up still, breaking that structure. Should have a nice move to the downside to kind of retrace this move and then create a good leg back up. Looking at GU or GJ. We're in this channel now right there, rejecting the low, so probably going to see another move to the upside. Sorry, let me turn that off. NASDAQ and SPX current candles looking like we're rejecting. We kind of filled that wick a little bit, so now we could see a move back to the upside after that. See if we can potentially get any buys here. Is DXY still dropping? Yeah, it is still dropping, so we need that to drop if we're gonna take buys. It needs to keep going. US30 candle put in the low now. Looking at the 2 minute candles, that was a pretty strong rejection wick, so potential that we're just filling this wick right now with this 2 minute candle before it flips back down bearish and retraces. If not, then we're gonna break that high and continue pushing up. Looking at 5 minute candles on all of these, SPX and NASDAQ flip bearish again. Looks like this is fighting to kind of push back to the bullish side though, so we'll see. It's got 2 minutes left till it closes. Where's the pivot? Right on this high right there, drop down. So that's the high of this 2 minute candle right there. So that candle's starting to flip now. The only problem is you're coming into a, sloppy area, so it could reject and turn around anywhere within there because you're coming into this range. So you gotta be careful with buys. Yeah, I'm thinking on NASDAQ we'll be able to take buys once we break that high up there. Hopefully this candle comes and pushes up and closes somewhere up within here so that we don't have a massive stop loss. And we can take this buy to the upside right there. And it's got 1.5 minutes until it closes. Jump back to DXY. DXY is finally breaking those lows, so kind of supporting us on taking buys here once that high's broken. Okay, 1 minute left. Looks like we're still trying to push up a little bit there. DXY is still dropping. US30 rejecting a little bit, and SPX is pushing up as well. Looking at gold, we're still making our move upwards. Same with GU. And GJ is rejecting the bottom of that channel and making that move up to test the top again. So that would have been a decent buy setup right here. You would have been close getting stopped out, but rejected pretty good there, and then you are taking it to the upside now. Okay, 10 seconds left on this candle. Be nice if we push up, yeah, a little higher, but it looks like it's not going to push up very much more. Looking at SPX, it's a lot closer to that range, so we'll see. US30 candle closes as a bearish rejection wick, so I'm gonna delete these. Yeah, there's really nothing there for us to take because we're in a very bearish downtrend right here, so this could just be a new lower high that we just put in before we come and drop to the downside. Coming up to test that high. We'll see if we break it. Looks like it's gonna. NASDAQ's pushing up. SPX is breaking that high right now, so if NASDAQ comes up and breaks this high right there, then we're gonna take a buy. Stop's gonna be right there, and we're gonna target the highs up there. Coming on up. XY is dropping down, so that's perfect here. We'll see if we keep pushing up. This is really kind of a break of structure on the lower time frames once that's broken up there. So you can see you got this little bear structure put in, so we break that up there, we should continue to test the highs. Okay, we tested it once, backed off a little bit. Potential to, on this next 2 minute candle, use that as our entry candle instead of this 5 minute. Our stop will be a little bit smaller. So we'll see if that happens. This one, did it just close? Okay, that just closed here, so the higher risk but better reward would be to take an entry on the break of that with our stop below this 2 minute candle right there. So we'll see if that happens. SPX broke up pretty good there, and US30 rejected after breaking the high. So a lot of rejections going on in this area right there. Making our low on this 5-minute candle. So hopefully we got 1 minute left. Oh, this is a 2-minute candle. We got 2 minutes left on this 5-minute candle. We need it to come push up and close somewhere up within this range if we're going to be able to take any kind of trade. If not, if we start rejecting closing bearish, then it's probably going to be a while before anything kind of sets up. So XY still dropping. US30 is pushing up, and NASDAQ and SPX are still kind of rejecting a little bit, so we'll see how this candle closes. It's got a minute and 40 seconds left on it, so Bitcoin kind of breaking a little bit of bearish structure to the downside. And the GJ, yep, GJ's on its way to the top of that channel there. U still pushing up. Oh wow. So yeah, we rejected that high pretty well right there. So we'll see what happens now. We got 1 minute left on this close, and it's flipping bearish. So US30 is pushing up, and SPX is rejecting as well, but it hasn't flipped bearish. So we'll see what happens in the last minute of this candle. See, US30 is pushing. Both US30 and SPX are bullish, and NASDAQ today is bearish. So XY is probably going to come down, and we're going to test 101.8 level is my guess. And GJ, if we break this high up there, then we're probably breaking out of this channel. Might be a fake out, but we're going to push up a little bit after that high is broken. Oops. Yeah, 5-minute candle just closed. Closed bearish on NASDAQ. Pretty strong rejection. Yeah, blue chips are tanking. NASDAQ closed pretty bearish, rejection right there, so I imagine this is going to make another move to the downside, while US30 is pushing up, and you know, SPX really hasn't done much. It's kind of playing both sides here. It broke the high up there, but sucked back in, broke the low down there, so it's just really in a range there. So we'll see if NASDAQ makes any other moves in the next couple minutes. XY is still dumping. Looks like we're breaking the lows here. Kind of just in this big consolidation area right now. Yeah, I'm interested to see if SPX is going to come fill his wick and push again to the upside, or if it's going to follow NASDAQ down. US30 made a little bit of a move up, but nothing too crazy, and it's really ugly, the movement. You can see it's just really choppy up and down in here, so no kind of opportunity as of now. Oops. I'm just trying to figure out if I want to make some kind of lower time frame play here. pretty high risk because of where we're at, so I'm probably not going to. 2-minute candles, kind of rejecting, kind of putting in a little bit of a double bottom right here. So potentially, if it does reject the second time, we might come up and break the structure up there, but also it's pretty bearish, so we'll see. This candle closes in 11 seconds here. So if we get a nice bullish close here, the next candle could come up and break that high for sure, but looks like we're in this zone now. This is our weekly zone. Yeah, so we're pushing down pretty strong right now. This is an area that's been rejected twice before, so potentially could see the DXY start to flip here, but – 1 minute left on this 5-minute this 5-minute candle, so just really sideways movement today. So I'm not sure we're gonna get any kind of opportunity here. Yeah, I'm not really seeing much, so I'm gonna call it a day there for me. No trades for me today, so hopefully we get something tomorrow, and I'll see you guys back here at the same time tomorrow. So peace out. Savannah.